Hello, I'm Cassandra Donnelly from Creative Passages, and today I just want to make a simple line design that I'm going to later momigami. So I want to use thin paper, and I want to use Sharpie, and I'll probably, I have this new set of metallic markers that I might use, and I'll probably just use some watercolors. Okay, so I incorporate a lot of my drawings that are kind of like abstract with a lot of marks. Here are a few examples. This is one I made with a Sharpie. Here's another one made with a black Sharpie. I find these doodle drawings are just a really good way to express my feelings and relieve stress. This one's done on black Sharpie. This one as well. And this one is also done with Sharpie. You can get so much expression through the lines that you make. This one's black Sharpie. This is a gold Sharpie, and I used some paint after it. And this is a black Sharpie that I started with, and then I just colored it with markers. This started off with a black Sharpie, and then I added collage to it. This one as well started as a black Sharpie, and I added collage to it. And then this one started off with a Sharpie, and I used oil pastels. And then this is the one I'm doing right now, and this is the momigamied version of it. And so I wanted to show you how I do that. I was thinking, well, it's not a very good one, but here we have one example of where I did some Sharpies, and then later I think I used oil pastels on top of this. I tried to use Elmer's glue to try to, because I wanted to momigami it, to try to keep it from sticking. But it didn't do a very good job, as you can see here. And the Elmer's glue doesn't work that great. It flakes off, so I don't recommend Elmer's glue. But this right here is cellulose glue. That works great. So, but if I don't use oil pastels, then I don't even need to worry about that. So I'm going to use a Sharpie, and then let's go from there. So the first thing I do is just kind of go with just a real kind of loose design, sometimes a scribble. Then every once in a while I'll just, maybe make a little tiny details, make little swirls and stuff. The main thing is I try not to judge it a whole lot. I just try to let loose. So I use these types of designs just to kind of unwind, and it can be really therapeutic and relaxing just to make repetitive lines like I did there. So I'll usually kind of work large and then slowly get more details in there, although sometimes I'll just add a little bit of detail here and there. And I usually try to maybe make something sort of different than I've made before. So I'm always like trying to maybe make something sort of weird, because maybe it'll be more visually interesting. So right now I'm just gonna make these lines, so it's kind of like a intentional doodle, and then from there I build up. So I may make the lines thicker later on. Probably be a little bit better if I had a harder surface to work on, but that's okay. So I don't really know what's gonna come out, if I'm gonna like it or not, but I can always color these things different ways. When I was in the military, I started making a lot of these designs with like Sharpies. I would have like a mixed media pad, or I would get one of those blank journals from like Books A Million or something like that, and I would just make these kind of doodles. And it was just like, if you don't have a lot of money for art supplies, but you just need to make art, I do highly recommend it, like a Sharpie. And you can always like buy blank composition, I guess it won't be composition, blank painter's paper or drawing paper at the Dollar Tree. So, and of course for that matter, you can buy a Sharpie at the Dollar Tree too. So this is something you could also put into your journal, your grief journal or your trauma journal. These are really nice if you need to release stress or feelings, but maybe you don't know how you feel. And what's nice about it is that it's so free, like, because it doesn't have to look like anything. And you can make it busy, you can make it loose. Usually I have like a mixture of busy and loose in there. You could even do some scribbles in here. So I do try and incorporate a little bit of design elements, but I don't stress over it too much. I have maybe these rectangles right here. Maybe I'll incorporate them other places, just to kind of have things look more visually interesting. Right now, see, this part sticks out because I don't have any other shapes or any other close clusters like that where my lines are more close together. So to even things out, I might put one over here. And then, although this doesn't look like much now, once I start filling it in, it's going to look more interesting. The best thing is just to not question a whole lot till you get done. I think, anyway. That's my approach. And sometimes I love squiggles and swirls, and then sometimes I'll throw in a little Semic writing like that. And then you could sort of do like a Zentangle too, where you can kind of fill this up with just different patterns that repeat. I guess it's similar to a Zentangle, but not exactly the same. See, I was kind of making a shape similar to that. So I'm going to draw little squares in here. That last one I showed you was not my best example there. That was something I need to, I maybe could fix it up if I go over it with the cellulose glue. Or I could always like do some jelly printing over top of it. That might be kind of interesting. The way I see it, your art can always keep evolving. So if you don't like something, you can keep adding to it or changing it, or it could just be collage fodder for something else. So this is never intended to be a major work of art. This is en route to something else. Now if it turns out amazing, even if it doesn't turn out amazing, I usually scan it. Because the scan image is something I can later use digitally as well. I can use it in a digital collage. So look at it like that. It takes all the stress out and it just makes it more fun. I mean, that's the main reason why we're making art, is to just have some fun, you know? Life could be stressful sometimes, and so It's good to just have fun and let loose. So I'm curious if this is going to turn out nice or not. In my opinion right now, it looks a little busy and crazy. But to be honest, my art is busy most of the time. So that's not any different than normal. But I'm telling you, it's these repetitive marks that kind of help you relax. Now see this, the mark's got a little light right here. I don't like that. So I'm gonna start filling some parts in. I feel like this would go a little bit better if I had a book underneath it. I do have a book right here. Let's see how this works. It's not exactly a flat surface, so let's see if that helps or not. That's what I want to say. That bumpiness of it is going to bother me. You honestly could get lost in all these details, you know? It can transport you to, like, it almost feels like you're going to another world. Now, I work with, a lot of people doing art therapy, and sometimes I'll hear people complaining that they don't like their art, but it'll be usually when they've done something like they added something that carries a lot of weight, but they don't have it that weight evenly distributed yet, or they have some marks but they don't have anything to balance it out yet. Usually it's in a state of being imbalanced, and I try to tell them you might not like it until you're finished, and then it gets more balanced. But I also tell them, it's okay even if you don't like it at the end, because we're using art to express our feelings and de-stress. So the objective is not necessarily to make something pretty, although I understand that sometimes they want to make something pretty and they get upset if they don't. So I try to help them, let go of that perfectionism, because oftentimes that perfectionism gets in the way of them just letting loose. And sometimes if you just stop worrying about it so much, you end up making something that you might like. But see, if I stopped right here, it doesn't really look like much. So we gotta sometimes keep going until we get something that we're really gonna like. And always, I say that you can keep changing stuff and adding on to it. I could always put collage pieces on here too, although for what I'm making this for, I don't want to do that. But like, if I wanted to end up with a work of art that I liked, I could add collage pieces to parts of it. I can even gesso parts of it. I could rip it up and collage it into a different piece. So it's just an expression, and it's a coping skill. I'm feeling a little bit tired tonight. It's kind of late. It's what's going on, 11 o'clock. And I'm thinking this is going to take a long time to finish the way I'm going at it. But, you know, if I get too tired, I can always stop and work on it a different day. I don't always have to get things done in one sitting. And I also have a thick Sharpie I can use. Already I'll say this is not one of my favorites, but who knows what'll happen, you know? And for what I'm going to use it for, it might not matter. Which I don't want to tell you. I want it to be a surprise. Well, I did tell you it was going to be momigamied, so that part's not a surprise. But I'm going to make something out of the momigami. And by the way, I could use these too if I wanted to. These are the Dirt Wet ink tints. And if that, see, it can be a little tedious to use such a fine point Sharpie. I could go like this and make the job a little bit faster. It's these thick lines that are going to make it a little more visually interesting. Alternating like thick lines with thin lines and tight spaces with loose spaces. Save something left for the metallic, but I really do want these bold black lines on different parts of it. And what part do I want to do here? Actually, you know what? Those metallic markers might look really good on this black right here. I could do it over top of it. It's kind of weird not to go all the way to the top of the heart, but I sometimes like weird a little bit. You know, I want to do something unique that maybe nobody else has done before. You know, something that's, you know, totally in my own style. It doesn't, you know, look like everybody else's art. And I guess how you find your artistic voice is you just kind of do what comes naturally to you. And you play around a lot and experiment to see, you know, what you get drawn towards. Makes me wonder why I had the thin Sharpie to begin with, right? Because I'm just going over so much of it with the thick one. But that's okay. I'm sure I'll have some. Or maybe I just needed to be bold today. I'm repeating those shapes right there. Looks like I need more of these. Like maybe I need something like that somewhere. Alright, I feel like it's getting close to being done. I maybe need some more polka dots somewhere. Let's maybe try some right here. This part, I don't know if I need something else like that on here. Something like this. Well, I feel like it's kind of working all by itself, but maybe because I want to try out these metallic markers. Look at that. These are metallic Sunshiller metallic colored pen, water-based ink, non-toxic, acid-free, light, fast, marks on most surface. Okay, so let's play with this. Let's see. Easily drawn to these colors. Okay. Let's see what happens if we go. Whoa! Look at that. Ah! Told you we look good on the black. I don't want to like overdo it though, because it's changing the dynamics. They are cool though. I meant to make a straight line, but it just kind of went curvy on me. I don't want to overdo it though. I had teardrops somewhere else. Oh, right here. Maybe they're raindrops. love these metallic markers. They're cool. Oh, it covers it over completely. Okay. It's gonna be red. Maybe let it dry a little bit better. It's easier just to draw them back in again. Color dough right there. What if we have it red? I don't see any red, that's the only thing. So, I'm going to paint this. Sort of want to do like an ombre. I don't want it to be let's just go ahead and do it like bit, kind of a strong green. Let's just mute it down just a teeny bit. So pumpy right there. I like it muted. Okay, let's do that right here too. Looking for the turquoise. Oh, yeah. So pretty. Do like these colors together. Now I'm going to spray a little bit of, that's water. Oh, let's see what that does. What I do with it. It looks like. Now I'm going to momigami this, so I'll use thin paper, thin drawing paper. If you were going to put something like this in your journal, I would recommend watercolor paper or mixed media paper. I'm actually very pleased with it. I'm going to scan it first because I think it's a nice artwork just by itself, but I did make it to be momigamied en route to something else. But see, if I scan it, then I always have it for, or I could save this and print out the scan and have that always available. This is a little crinkled anyway because I used, you know, thin paper. So, it might not be a great work of art as far as like the paper quality goes. But I like it. I really like it. I think it'll make a really nice scan. Alright, this is what the scanned version looks like. It's a little bit crinkly because I used just regular copy paper. And this is the momigami version. I'm going to make some paper charms and paper flowers, momigami paper flowers out of it. So check back. Bye everyone. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please like and think about subscribing. I'm going to have some other great stuff. Blessings.